But the thing that this place needs more than anything is a unified vision of where they're going, so that there are no "you're not going to believe what happened behind the scenes" type things happening anymore. It cannot be that way. It just simply cannot be where this franchise has multiple people running to Jimmy Haslam from different angles and tattletaling and trying to get his side, get in his ear. That shit has to stop. And if it doesn't stop, they're going to continue to be in purgatory for the next 20 years. The goal for Jimmy Haslam in this hiring process is, in my opinion, you want a head coach that's great moving forward. We all do. I want that. I want that really badly. The thing I want more than that is a franchise that has a totem pole of people from top to bottom that are unified in the vision of where it's going and the belief in where it is all going to end up down the line. I don't think you can have people who have different approaches and cannot sit at the table and have man-to-man conversations, group conversations that are productive, cohesive, and understanding of what is the common goal for this franchise. If they continue to do the football guys versus the numbers guys, that's never going to work. So the biggest thing that Jimmy has to get right, and it's scary because Jimmy doesn't get much right since his arrival, but he has to figure this out, man. That is the thing they have to figure out.
Yep.
Now, they might hire Stefanski, and after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they figure out, man, this guy can't really do the stuff that we need him to do, but they're going to keep everybody else intact and stick with what their goal is and bring in another head coach to get it done. They need to be unified at the top if they're ever going to be able to find the right guy to be a head coach for the long term. So I want to talk about the head coach. That's important. It's the attention grabber. But the unified vision of where this is all going and how it works, it has to be people behind closed doors that are unified and are not tattling on each other and don't have situations where they're acting like pricks, because you know that was happening. You know it was happening between you and Sashi. You know it was happening between John and Paul and these other guys who are not unified in the vision of where this is going. And you have somebody who's saying, I have an ego, I'm self-absorbed, I'm not going to listen to anybody else. I want the attention, I want all of this stuff. That shit has to stop. You need to hire grown-ups who understand what it takes to work as a functioning front office. I'm sorry, man, that's a long rant, but that's where I'm at with it. And I think that then from there, you can say if Paul and they hire Andrew Berry, or if they go a different route and they hire Elliot Wolf as the GM, whoever, those people have to be in lockstep. So that's where I'm at, dude. That's where I'm at with it. And I think that is what has to happen first and foremost. I think they're talking about hiring a head coach before the GM. I don't know. I just know they need to find the right group of people to make it work from a vision standpoint. You tell me if I'm wrong, dude. Has it felt like since 2012 they've had everybody in the front office? There's a wide-ranging group of people that they've had over the years. Has it ever felt like they've all been on the same page?
No, there's no. I mean, the only point in the front office would be the DePodesta, Sashi Brown, Andrew Berry group. But the problem with that is that, he hired Hugh Jackson to be the head coach, and when the head coach isn't collaboratively working with that group and doesn't claim that he understood how big of a rebuild it would take and all that type of stuff, and clearly didn't do a good job of coaching the talent, then it results in losses, and then people are pointing fingers about who is to blame. Is it the talent or is it the coaching? Maybe it's both. Maybe people should have just been hired together, with cohesion, like you're discussing. And I think there's never been a point other than that where the people in the front office were all working together.
There just has to be a unified goal. And that, if they're bringing in the head coach at the same time, that's fine. Whoever it is, find people that are interested in being people in the room, not offended that somebody called me out, or a guy who says, why are we picking him? And it's a conductive, a productive conversation about why. The why, the understanding. Are we picking the right player? Are we signing the right player because they understand or they fit into what our plan is? That stuff has to happen. If a numbers guy comes to our next head coach and says, "Hey, we have a 28% success rate out of 11 personnel, but we go to 12 personnel, we're running the football on first and second down, and we have a 62% success rate using wide zone," those numbers should excite somebody. They shouldn't make them annoyed. That shouldn't be the case. You should be able to talk about next level thinking things as a franchise together. And I think that, I just need them to find a way to get there. I'm not saying it has to be all numbers people, but I'm talking about they need to be conductive. I don't know why I keep saying conductive. Productive and cohesive people that can take opinions from other people, and be able to use them and mesh ideas and all of that stuff. I don't know. That's where I'm at. I think they need to be able to do those things in a productive manner. And if they struggle with that, I don't want them to be here. That's my biggest point. Yep. And I think if you have those, I'm okay with different ideas. I'm okay with different types of people, but they need to be able to be people that can come together. And if they're not people that can come together, that is a big problem.